포너스가 우승을 차지하네요.
優勝目標にみんなで頑張ってきてて、やっぱり優勝することができたのは一番嬉しかったことです。
去年も今年もクラーリーグ優勝してきたので、今年も優勝できると思ってます。
今までで一番悔しかったですね。
次は絶対勝ちます。
But not this time anymore, Ponos.
그 자리를 뺏을 수도 있다고 봐요.
So I think Ponos' decision is not a threat in our team.
자, 미칸 뭐야 과연?
약간 붉은.
탈론!
Good luck.
누구 파마!
まあありがとうと。
자, 두두두두두두!
4번!
自分は別にどっちでもいいかな感じです。
4번이 가는 쪽은
A グループよりも B グループの方が勝ち抜きやすいと思ったので
저와 상관없이 월드 파이널은 저희가 가겠습니다.
今回ばかりは後がないと思っているので死ぬ気で勝ちに行きます。
제가 최고의 선수라는 것을 다시 증명해 보이겠습니다.
좋은 모습 보여드릴 테니까 기대해 주세요.
Target di season 2 ini, targetnya kita akan berusaha untuk menjadi juara dan pesan untuk
今シーズンも勝つのはポノスです。
What's up, everyone? It's time for Clash Royale League Season 2 in Asia. It is time. We have a lot of changes, whole new thing to talk about. My name's G-Clef, with me on the side, Paper Thin. Let's bring this on. Let's get it on. We have so many new things, new patch, new players. What else do we got?
It's crazy. A few new rule changes. A few things are going to be different this season.
New jacket,
new jackets,
new shirts.
We got new shirts,
new everything.
I don't even like this
new
soda,
hair.
but that's okay. new what? No. This hair is gone forever, G-Clef. It's never coming back. Don't get your hopes up, people. But we have a brand new season of Clash Royale League Asia. I'm quite excited for it. It's going to be quite a bit of the same. We're seeing a lot of the same players.
Yes.
I'm very hyped about this. Last season was so good.
Yes.
And we saw so many interesting decks and so many interesting moments and just players, you know, all over the place playing really well from time to time, and some players that we expected to play well, not. So this season, it's kind of like I'm looking at the players that didn't play well last season, like Mikan Booya and Expo Master. And I've also got my eyes on some players that played really well last season, like KK and Benzer Rydell.
Oh, yes. We have a lot of roster changes. We will be going through all of them. Of course, we only have 6 teams playing today, but basically, the teams that had poor results had a lot more roster change. Teams that had great results, same roster most likely. So that's like the sum of it. We also have some rule changes, which is first thing. No ban card for 1v1, only for 2v2. So it's going to be the same format for China, East, and maybe also the West. So I think it's all leading up to the Worlds. That's going to happen at the end of the year. I like this constant rule format here.
Yeah, you need to standardize things before we get there. So here's a quick overview, guys, of what you can see. Of course, this is Clash Royale League Asia 2019 Season 2 schedule. We're going to start with today, August 22nd. It's the first day. We go until the 13th of October in the regular season, G-Clef.
And until November 2nd. So another long marathon race that all the players has to do. And the big change in that marathon will be that groups. They do not fight against each other groups. They only fight within the groups 2 round robin. So that's going to be a hectic show. That's also the reason why we had the group nomination last week. So we know which teams are going to their own group. And few of the teams were actually selected by the team, so that was the fun part about it.
Yeah, it made for a nice little change to the season, having, you know, these teams kind of competing almost in a preseason match where they're picking their teams and trying to jostle for positions. You can see prize pool up a little bit this season, G-Clef. We got $50,000 now for first place.
And also for second place, $7,500 for the playoffs too. And then when we go into the playoff, we do mix in Group A and B, which I believe that's written in Group 1 and 2, which becomes 1 and 2. So first, second versus second, fourth of the other group on one side of the things, the other side of the things. So 4-4 on each side, and then they have double elimination from the playoffs. So it's going to be a lot more matches. So even if they lose one match, this team's got another chance to go through it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like this format. It makes it more fair for all the teams. It really gives them a chance to prove themselves over the course of many games, which you kind of need in Clash Royale. As we kind of go on, we're kind of finding that the more games you play, you know, the better idea of how the real results should come, you know, what we see with that. So these are the 2 groups, guys. You can see Group A, Group B. Group A, pretty stacked. Group B, pretty stacked as well. They're both pretty good, but I would lean a little heavier towards Group A being a little more difficult.
Yes, I would say Group A has a few more superstars in 1v1. 2v2, I think it's about the same overall. But Group A's got a few more. From the top, basically, Ponos chose Talon, and Talon chose Kicks. The Talon didn't have a choice, so it was at the end anyhow. And Chaos Theory picked DetonatioN Gaming. DetonatioN picked DragonX. Same for Group B on the other side. GameWit, they were the one choosing the other teams, and so on. So we only have Group A. We'll get to see all 6 teams because they have to fight again and again. And from the first match, I can't believe my eyes. Is this real? We have Ponos versus Chaos Theory.
We have a rematch of the 3rd place match from Season 1. Ponos versus Chaos Theory. Chaos Theory looking for revenge here because Ponos did, in fact, best them. What lineups are they going to bring? Now, we should mention that Chaos Theory does have a new player this season. Well, he's not new. He's been here before, but he's back again. Carolus is back for them. We'll get to that in a second, though.
Yeah, in the second match, Talon versus DetonatioN Gaming. Third, Kicks versus DragonX. They got new squads, too. So that's some excitement in there. But time to drill down and talk about Ponos because they're the champions, they're the defending champions. No roster change, nothing has changed for them. No naming changes or whatsoever.
The best 2v2 in the game right now, I think, in the world, Reiki Jones and Rad. No one can seem to best them. They are so good. They don't lose basically ever, and that's really exciting for them. And of course, you got, you know, Mika and Boya and Kota behind them. Strong 1v1 players now.
Yeah, Mika and Boya 1v1 was super weak, I gotta say, last season. He's gotta come up big unless he's going into that 2v2 with his teammate. I don't think they're gonna change that 2v2 because it's so strong. If Mika and Boya steps up, certainly looking for that top spot by the end of the season.
Well, I think you gotta give him some opportunities to do it. He played well in King of the Hill, but not in the 1v1 set.
Yes, also was okay in WCG, but back now, we don't know. It's a different meta. We see a lot more cards. Oh, time to talk about Chaos Theory now.
Yeah, Carolus replacing Oya. Oya was over here for one season. Now they brought Carolus back from 2018. He was here. In fact, I think you and I were talking about this. That was, in fact, the very first broadcast I ever did was the first time
with
for
me.
Clash Royale League Asia with you was when they brought Carolus out. So that's kind of fun. Nice little moment there for me. But this is way more important here. The two teams squaring off right now.
Is it going to be?
Oh, yes.
And we get the dreamed match.
Yes.
Set 2, Mika and Boya versus Benzer.
God, that's so good.
And there's no ban card. Remember that.
That's crazy. And that's something, you know, you and I have been talking about before the broadcast, how that'll affect what kind of decks these players bring. I've talked to some players and coaches who think that it's going to force more meta decks, but that might not necessarily be the case because this region tends to be a little more wild and wacky than, say, CRL West.
Yeah, I would say it's in between CRL China and West. Asia does have some funky stuff from time to time depending on the player and the team. It tends to lean a lot more towards the meta. So I'll say it's in the middle of China and West. 2v2 still has the ban. It's going to be Tornado and the Graveyard. Graveyard freeze or Graveyard, anything, just showing up so many times. Giant Skeleton, of course. In China, it's almost every single time because they got to ban the Lava Hound, which means in this case, I think we're about to see some more Lavas coming down for 2v2.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it could very well be Lava Hounds, and I just don't even look at what Ponos bans in 2v2 because it's always Tornado. It is 100% last season, 100% Tornado.
They practice without the Tornado. They just imagine that's going to be the card because they have one card to ban, and the other card, well, they can just adjust to that. They've been doing that the entire year, basically the entire last year, also the first season. They have a lot more practice and experience with it. I think it's a good thing to stick to.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's what you're comfortable with, don't shy away from it. And with them, they are the freeze masters. We saw them just dismantle people with freeze. They're so good at knowing when to use it defensively and then waiting for the right opportunity to use it offensively. They're extremely patient with it.
Yes.
We've seen them use it with various different things, whether that be Graveyard, Hog Rider, Balloons. Doesn't matter, they're willing to bust it out.
But they were caught in WCG from a lot of those fireballs because they knew that Ponos was going to use the Balloon freeze over and over again. So it's not the most perfect one. Of course, in terms of what happened in Asia during the season, they're unbeatable. But they've seen the dents, the holes in that deck.
And that was a surprising moment. You and I were sitting together in the audience watching that at WCG.
Yeah, they didn't even change it after losing the first game with that 2v2.
It was really surprising to watch them be that stubborn because this is a team that we've seen adapt very well. They rarely actually just 2-0 their opponents in these 2v2 sets here in Clash Royale League Asia. We're going to get into this one, guys. This is going to be really exciting here. Ponos versus Chaos Theory to kick us off.
It's time for 2v2s with the ban cards. Graveyard Tornado ban. So not going to be seeing those two cards. Expecting a lot more Lavas. Maybe we go back to the traditional Golems.
Could be, and there's that Goblin Cage. And okay, yeah, you're right. The Golem is with the Prince here. A P.E.K.K.A. here.
You talked about P.E.K.K.A. all day.
I did talk about P.E.K.K.A. I'll talk about it more in a bit. So a lot of people think it was a bit of a nerf. I think it's maybe
overall a buff.
Yeah, I think overall a buff. Yes, yes. Exactly. Ooh, Cannon Cart here now. That's been very popular. The Golem with the Cannon Cart. Now, Mega Knight as well.
So keeping that cart away from the range. So only the Golem entering. Some more P.E.K.K.A.'s already being chopping. All that Prince already gone. So everything from the Brawler is already gone. But the big wave is coming down to Ponos' side.
Yeah, this Poison here is going to clean up that Mega Minion and that Dart Goblin. Now the Baby Dragon is going to be healthy with the Ram Rider coming in behind it here. What's going to be Ponos' answer? The Goblin Cage.
Cage Brawler's gonna do a heck of a lot of damage onto that Ram Rider also, but that's some damage already taken at the bottom side, and just going to waste that Brawler because they gotta keep that cage for every single Rider now.
Yeah, absolutely, but the cage is a great counter to the Rider, but there is another quick Rider here, just in time with that E-Wiz. Oh, but the charge does get through.
Yeah, before that E-Wiz gets a shot onto the Rider, so that's a tower gone already, basically. 18. That was a quick attack right after seeing that Golem being brought down all the way in the back.
Like the aggressiveness here from Chaos Theory, not letting off the gas. Now we're setting up for that big push. Is the Mega Knight going to come in once again? This time it's the P.E.K.K.A. to delay the cannon card.
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. with that Mega Knight, I think that's going to be a big, big issue for Ponos to push through. The Golem's doing some work, but it's never really getting to the tower too heavily with the coming attack from the cannon card.
Yeah, you've got that E-Wiz to slow everything up, the Goblin Cage there as well. So Baby Dragons can do a little AoE, and there's just too much to slow down these Golem pushes.
Yeah, less than 500 damage done from all these Golem pushes. I mean, Ponos, they're still sticking to the right side when Chaos Theory are already setting up an attack onto the left because they know they can have a lead, major lead already with this.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be really difficult here for Ponos. They're going to have to defend on the left while trying to set up another push on the right. And so far, Chaos Theory's done a great job defending these pushes. This time it's the Lumberjack and the Cage of the E-Wiz.
But this time Golem's doing some more work. Maybe it's going to do some damage to the tower, but the left bottom actually defended perfectly from Ponos' side. Pushing from both sides at the time. Golem still on that tower. Nocturne still charging onto the top left this time.
That's okay. That's a perfectly healthy tower. They can afford to soak that damage, I feel like. They just have to defend.
10 seconds?
Yeah, I don't think there's enough time here for Ponos unless this cannon card
ranged.
That's a lot of damage.
Can you actually get that down in time?
Oh, just in time with the lightning. Ho, ho, ho.
And a great log to get that cannon card doing one less attack. I think it's about 200, or just over that damage onto the tower. Whew, that was a close one. They feel it.
That is a great way to start off Season 2, G-Clef. What an exciting one there. It felt like with 10 seconds left, okay, this is it. But all of a sudden, bridge spamming units was Ponos trying to find a weakness. And with that pocket lightning there, Chaos Theory able to defend it. Woo!
Oh, that was a close one, certainly. Having that lightning did help at the end. But after seeing that rage cannon card, even the Baby Dragon did a whole lot of shots onto that tower. That was a close one. After having that major lead from Chaos Theory, oh, that was a closer game than we expected after this moment.
Well, it was just really hard for them to get a Golem anywhere near it. There's just too much to slow things up. A ton of DPS between the Goblin Cage and the Lumberjack to really get that Golem weakened.
Yeah, now we're seeing the highlight, the replay again. It was even worse because the snare actually went to the Golem, making it actually going behind all these other units. So Ponos, they set up their own attack, which failed again from the other push. So Chaos Theory, making everything work with their own attack here. I mean, if there's a Golem onto the other side, the lesson is always just have a faster attack onto the same or the other side. If you got a lot more elixirs to drop off, just go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Chaos Theory is still probably okay there, but Ponos did a great job, you know, splitting things, defending well on the left-hand side with that push that Chaos Theory had set up with their Mega Knight, actually not taking much damage. So had Ponos been able to take that right-hand Princess Tower, that actually could have very well been Ponos' game.
Oh, yes. Because they only had to focus on one side, and Golem will actually push through. Lightning could have been the end effect for Chaos, but I think it didn't really matter too much in that middle. Maybe they'll change up this time. They started off with the Golem. The ban card still stays the same, except for that Tornado. Still all the Lavas. I think that's a safe choice too, because Ponos, they love airplay on 2v2.
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see Ponos going into something like that. And I think going back to the Lightning here for Chaos Theory, I found it to be kind of interesting since Inferno Tower just isn't as popular, and that's a big reason you were bringing Lightning before. It ended up working out for them in this situation. They were able to clean up that right at the end and win. But in general, I'm curious to see how the meta will evolve with Lightning because of the nerf to the Inferno Tower.
Yeah, for 1v1, we don't really see that too many times, but it seems like we are ready to get that second game on after a long period of time, with timeout from Ponos already being called for this 2v2. Matters so much for them. Let's get into 2v2 game 2. Yeah, you can just tell that they don't want to. They just want to keep that streak on going on 2v2.
There's a thing of pride there for sure. And they're not going to change it up here. They're going to stick, at least seemingly, with the Golem Princess.
Now let's see if there's anything up because of that miner. Dark Prince is going to the other side.
That's not what you want. Okay, there's the Inferno Tower this time from Chaos Theory. I think they see that Ponos didn't have anything that was great at countering the Inferno Tower in their decks.
On a poison. Thing of beauty here. If you got everything inside of that circle from the other side, well, just keep doing all that damage. And P.E.K.K.A likely to be not reaching the tower, but as long as you're cleaning up everything else, you're fine.
Yep, here comes that Ram Rider once again, and this time they're ready with the Goblin Cage and a Prince to prevent that Ram Rider from getting through and doing any damage that time.
Great defense again with the cage, canceling the charge with that E-Wiz. Mega Knight dropping right on top of all the units. I mean, just crystal clear defense coming out from Chaos Theory once again.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff from them. That is going to be a very stuck cannon cart. It will be able to allow them to take out that Mega Knight and the E-Wiz there. But
yeah, I actually like that play because the cannon cart was going nowhere with that Mega Knight spawning on top.
Yeah.
It was not reaching that tower at all, so using it defensively, I think it's a better work of the cannon cart after the feedback from game 1.
I think that's a really good point, Jinclef. A really nice change up there, but really having a tough time defending this. The Dark Prince is on there. He is doing quite a bit of damage.
Yep.
Woo!
Heavy stuff. There's that lightning on that Inferno. Goes down, but the P.E.K.K.A is also ready, so the Golem's not really going to connect too much death damage.
Yeah, it is going to do a significant amount of damage here and almost even things up, if not even, not quite, but close to evening things up here for Ponos on that right-hand side, but slight advantage Chaos Theory right now.
Yes, great job changing the lane onto the other side so that the Chaos Theory can't really push in all the way. Ram Rider on the left and the Mega Knight on the right, so Chaos certainly looking to have this longer game right now.
Yeah, this time they bridge spammed the Golem with the E-Wiz right behind it. Now you've got the Mega Minion and the Baby Dragon coming to back it up, but there's just too much damage there from Chaos Theory. That Golem gets nowhere.
Yeah, just didn't even have to use that Goblin Cage of their own, and they don't even need it this time with that Inferno. And that snare onto the left, Cage coming in just in time.
Oh, great lightning here, but Ram Rider still won't get through. I think that Brawler does end up taking that Dark Goblin out with a sliver of health left. So not much going on in that exchange, just a little extra damage there done by Chaos.
And Ponos was putting in chip damage with that poison as well. So let's see if this Golem's able to go through with another lightning on it. Not going to spend it this time. It was already locked onto it for a long time.
Yeah, it just isn't worth it at that point. The defensive poison coming in, needing to defend this attack to Chaos Theory feel like they had to do. On the left-hand side, the Ram Rider not getting through again, so both teams doing a great job here with their defense, and that they're just going to let that Prince go through again.
That doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Well, it's Chaos Theory trying to push on the left side even more. Miner's going to delay that attack just a little bit more. Cage does come. Great snowball. Lightning hitting the tower even down to 302. That's another lightning hit. That's gone.
Yeah, I just saw JTV pump his fist. He feels like they have this in the bag. They have the defense available to cycle through to that next lightning here with that Mega Knight and that P.E.K.K.A. They very well could be in for a win.
Will Rad and Reggie Jones going down in game 2. That's a poison and a snowball. That also is really close to being finished. Another log, and that's a GG for Chaos Theory. 2-0s. Rad and Yakitori in the beginning match. What happened in the middle of that break?
I don't know. This is surprising stuff for Ponos, and it reminds me of what we saw at WCG, where they get stubborn and they don't try something different. They don't try something new. Their opponents won the first game. They're allowed to continue to play the same deck, and they made a slight change in there. They did bring Lightning that time, and that did help against the Inferno Tower. But between the P.E.K.K.A. and the Mega Knight, there's plenty of defense available anyway.
Yeah, I think Chaos is actually the one that made a better change with that Inferno coming in instead of the Goblin Cage in game number 2. I mean, if that Prince was just a little bit closer or closer to the tower or up the tower, then it could have blocked the lightning damage going into the tower once again and buy some more time for the next Golem push. But that was a close one. Chaos Theory just making all the skills work for them.
Yeah, that first game was incredible. One of the better 2v2 games you will see in Clash Royale, in professional Clash Royale. And you can see here they're set up for the golem pushes with the Princess behind the golems, but it just wasn't quite enough. That final moment here with that log and that lightning, able to keep the damage to 31 left there on that top Princess Tower.
Oh, look how happy JTB is. I mean, he knows when the game's over, man. Just watch the camera, and you know when the game's over. That Mega Knight, along with that P.E.K.K.A, was a great choice against the Golem back-to-back. I mean, you get all the chop damage onto the Golem by straight up doing P.E.K.K.A, and all the ones following the Golem just drop that Mega Knight.
Yeah, actually, it's really nice because that Mega Knight gets the jump damage and some AoE, so it just really gives you so many options available there on the ground.
Like all the E-Wiz or the cannon card, everything else like Dark Prince following up, spawn damage will actually get them down to like half.
Yep.
At least getting the shield out from Dark Prince Plus.
Oh yeah, easily gets rid of the shield, yeah.
Oh yes, that 2v2. I mean, Ponos even spent their timeout for that. Now Mikanbuya's up here. Last season, look at that record. 0-5.
That's crazy. It's just unheard of, and now the pressure's really on because for the first time in a long darn time, Reiki Jones and Rad have lost a 2v2 here in Clash Royale League Asia. So this is a big moment here for Mikan. How's he going to start out the season? Is it going to be the Mikan we know from 2018, or is this more of the same from Mikan?
He needs to bring himself back from the old times, or he needs to be somewhat new in this season, and he's up against possibly the toughest opponent from the beginning day, Benzer Riddell here. 9-4 last season. It used to be like 8-2. He had like 80% win rate at certain moments, and then he was really hurt from the ban cards.
Yes.
Towards the end of the season, but until that point, he was like unbeatable.
Well, and what's interesting is it might have been, I think in the long run, beneficial for Benzer that they started banning Mortar against him because he was forced to learn how to play some other decks. Particularly, he got quite good at the Goblin Giant Sparky decks.
Yes, sir.
And so I think that actually, like I said, in the long run, could be quite good for him.
Oh, this is the matchup I've been waiting for. We have it. Let's see what comes. A lot more Magic Archers, more P.E.K.K.As, Fireballs. We'll see in game. Comes match number 2. It's quite empty on the right side. Without the band cards, I just noticed that.
Oh no!
empty.
It feels wrong, G-Class.
Skeletons.
Feels wrong. Skeletons,
Is it
Spear
Expo?
Goblins.
You see a lot of Expo coming in hot. Even with that Goblin Cage, it's still possible.
Yeah, there's just about every deck now kind of has Goblin Cage. There's that Miner there. Right, like, you could basically substitute Goblin Cage for a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there are lots of Hog decks along with this too, so we'll have to see just a little bit more. I think with the Rascals, I think Benzer is back to his old... Yes.
Yep. No, I mean, once I saw the Rascals, I'm like, all right, we're playing Mortar, and that's fine with me. The Musketeer could be a lot of things still here for Mikanbuya.
I'm smelling Hog from Mikan a lot
Hog?
here.
I like Hog. I like Hog. Could be a lava, but I like Hog. I'm down. Let's do that.
Yes. And Benzer's got a good start onto his rotation already. There's that Bar Barrel that no one else uses anymore.
It's still fine. Just because it doesn't kill the Rascal Girls and the Princess and the Dark Goblin.
No, that was the whole point.
I know.
It still kind of does. All the goblins from the barrel, so it's okay.
Yeah, nice Ice Golem placement there. Good prediction. Although Tornado is available, so you kind of have to, because there's no bans, you kind of have to play. Miners, that kind of makes Miner a little bit more interesting, because we did see Benzer just basically banning Tornado all the time.
Yeah, Poison means a lot more graveyardish from Mikan.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, even without the Dark Prince, there's that Brawler, so I think it's okay, but the Motor connecting 2 shots already to the bottom left. Ooh, gets that down. I think Bar Barrel in this case is a smart choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's that minion horde here. In comes the Miner as well, and you've got the Ice Golem available to kite that long enough and do a little extra damage. Skeletons just in case.
Yeah, you actually want the Golem to be doing the death damage onto that minions. Comes that Graveyard along with that Poison, so knowing that position, got a lot of Goblins out, even that Spear Goblins, so Benzer actually spent a lot of elixirs here.
Yeah, Benzer had to drop those Spear Goblins inside the Poison to catch a few of those Skeletons. Too many were popping there on that thin side, so he had to take some damage there, give himself a little bit more time. So Mikan's got a little bit of an edge here.
Nice placement and the timing of that minion horde. And the Miner starting doing some damage now. Got a lot of stuff deleted on the back of that barrel.
Good placement with that miner to get that musketeer as well. Now you might get a little bit of damage there from those goblins that big. The fireball cleans up the musketeer.
That's big after hitting a few more mortar shots directly into the tower. 809, and still for Mikan, double that damage to go on the top left. Another big force pushing here. Benzer just wants to keep that pressure against Mikan. He doesn't really have too many pulls other than the poison because he wanted to save that for his own graveyard, but not anymore.
Yeah, Mikan had to use that poison defensively here. Another fireball coming in. Oh, it does just get that musketeer. Great fireball there by Benzer Idel. He has that tower very, very near fireball. It's fireball log range, I believe, just outside of fireball long range for like 2 hit points.
He's got to get everything done. Miner does connect onto the bottom. This graveyard has to be a miracle for him to win this game. And Benzer, I think he's just got it with 32 left on the bottom left now. Well played is called. Fireball finishes game number 1.
Well, it's about what you expect here out of Benzer Idel, one of the best mortar players in the world. He just is so good. I just don't know. I mean, he's so good with those minor timings. He's so good at understanding what his opponent wants to do. I don't know what you can do now that you can't ban the mortar against him. It makes him so much more difficult to play against.
It's hard. That deck requires you to understand the game so much, even if you play the same. I mean, without the ban cards, everyone can just copy the deck and play it on ladder, on grand challenge, anywhere. But to make that work against everything, it's hard. It takes experience, takes skill. You need to understand the placement and what to expect from the opponent. I think he basically knew that the graveyard is the only option after the poison here, coming down from Mikan.
Yeah, absolutely. Really great stuff here from Benzer. And I think, like, with this timeout here, we have a few more seconds to talk about this. At first, I almost thought that Spear Goblin placement into the poison was a mistake by Benzer. And I'm like, oh, no, there's too many skeletons up there. He 100% had to do that to soak up a little damage. And it's just 2 elixir.
Exactly.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, because he has a lot of the small units. He can get all those done. As long as the Rascal girls are fine. And the bar barrel actually does not kill the girls anymore. So actually, that's a big change, even if it's one of the better ones. If Mika was able to bring Log instead, I think it could have worked better, but for the deck choice, yes, because you need to be having those shots going into the Barbarian and making sure your graveyard is actually the damaging tool. He wasn't even lending poison too many times onto that tower, so it was a tough choice for him overall.
Yeah, really, he had to use that poison defensively, and that's when you're playing a graveyard deck that you know you're in a lot of trouble. When you start having to use that poison or the freeze, whichever one you're running, defensively, then you know things are not going particularly well. You're having to damage that mortar down with a spell, and that's not ideal unless maybe you have lightning or something like that where you can catch the mortar along with another unit or something.
Yeah, usually you're supposed to get the Brawler going across the bridge so it soaks up all the damage from the Princess Tower in order to have that graveyard work even without the poison, but Mika was having a hard time even crossing that bridge. That's how hard the pressure was from Benzer. Just kept all the elixirs trade better for himself. I mean, Mika was caught again. He's down 1-0. Can he come back from here?
Absolutely he can. Of course. This guy has done it on the big stages so many times. We've seen him all over the place. Now, last season was definitely not his season in Clash Royale League Asia, but this guy has been playing for so long. He can absolutely turn this around, defeat Benzer here, take it to the King of the Hill, which would be excellent. I would love to see these teams go at it in King of the Hill, but we got to do one more game at least of 1v1 here. Benzer is up 1-0 against Mikan Boya as we go into game number 2.
Time again, Mikan Booyah. Can he do it this time? Come back against Benzer. That would be huge for the team going into that King of the Hill. Right after, again, the Miner. Seems like Benzer might just be playing the exact same thing.
I would not be surprised. I mean, we've seen Benzer when he's allowed to play this mortar deck. There's very little that he can't deal with, and we'll see how it plays out now. Bandit Mega Minion doesn't give us too much info with an E-Wiz. Now, typically, we see P.E.K.K.A decks with that, but these days there's a few other things floating around that it could be
with the Magic Archer, I think it's still going to that P.E.K.K.A, but making sure that Magic Archer is gone. It doesn't have the Fireball, but right after,
I think this is the Mega Knight. I think this is the Mega Knight variant with these Royal Hogs, is my suspicion here. There comes that Goblin Gang pretty good at cleaning up those Royal Hogs here, and already you could see an advantage already for Benzer. Can Mikan Booyah find a way to turn this around?
Yes. Either Mega Knight, P.E.K.K.A both are really good adjustments into the deck. Seeing it all over ladder, Grand Challenge from pros. But Benzer just understanding this deck coming out from Mikan, I think he is still all right.
I think, personally, if I'm Mikan, I would think Mega Knight here because it's so good at cleaning up these mass units that come with the mortar deck.
That's a great catch, the Bandit dash. I mean, allowed Mortar to do one extra damage into the tower. Just predicted that Bandit was going to be placed right there had that Rascals coming down.
That was ridiculous. That's just, Benzer Rydell is so light years ahead of people. It's just crazy. This guy just thinks, he's thinking ahead. He already knows what Mikan Booyah is thinking. He's already getting ready for it.
I'm pretty sure he knows what's the next card of Clash Royale's gonna be already. So he's like practicing in his head already, just by in case. But still dropping Bandit just to clear up all the back units. So this one's gotta be just a little bit more, but Mikan Booyah does not want to spend because that log and fireball is available.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just not great options here. There is indeed that Mega Knight there for Mikan Booyah. Looking to see if he could get the jump onto those Rascal girls. It will jump over there. And now you got the Miner down on that right-hand corner. The Ewiz comes in to help with that. Log does a little extra damage.
Yep. Magic Archer does not survive. Gets all the splash damage. One of the Rascals girl actually does go down, so that's good news.
Yeah, Mikan's got to find a way.
Again!
Oh my gosh, that's so good. It's so good.
I mean, Mika's only got Snowball. I think that's the thing. You got that spawn damage with the Mega Knights, and you need to really break through everything. Great activation onto the King Tower this time, though, with the Snowball.
Yeah, absolutely. Really nicely done there. That's going to buy him a little extra time here, but right now that Mortar's coming through once again, distracting that Bandit. We got the
maybe the
Mega
chance
Minion.
Magic Archer is surviving for such a long time after these Goblins.
Oh, he gets a few shots in, but he's going to opt to try to go for the damage. The Ewiz comes in to keep that Miner from doing any extra damage, so well played there by Mikan Booyah.
Real well played from Mikan. He does have a still very good chance of coming back, but this Fireball is a spicy meatball.
Mikan was ready for it, though. He expected that Fireball, immediately placing that Magic Archer, knowing that he can use that as bait to get this Magic Archer out, but now there's quite a bit of beef in front of that Magic Archer, and it does go down.
Oh, yes. As long as the Magic Archer is not doing straight-up damage to the tower, Benzer should be happy. Mikan's got his cycle going, even though he's taking some damage from the Minor King Tower, certainly helping out on that, reducing down. But 2:11 to go.
Yeah, this is going to be GG here. Fireball or just a shot from the Mortar will do it. I was going to say Fireball and Log, but Mortar Shot will do it as well. Benzer Rydell 2-0. Chaos Theory 4-0 over Ponos.
And first match is over just like that, guys. We do not get to see any game win from Ponos, which was very unexpected how hyped this matchup was actually for 2v2 and 1v1. So we could see how great these players are. So for now, Mikan Booyah, it seems like he still needs some more time to really warm up into the season.
Yeah, I'm pretty shocked here, top to bottom here from Ponos, that they were not ready for this. I mean, you know full well Benzer Rydell is playing Mortar, and in 2v2, it's just surprising to see them go down 2-0 ever.
Yeah, let's see if anyone's able to beat Benzer, because someone has to bring him down. There's no ban card, so you just have to bring a deck against him. Basically, that's what it is.
Yeah, somebody's got to find a way to break through that Mortar deck, G-Clev, because he is too darn good at it.
Oh, he's on top of everything. Oh, Mikan Booyah was not enough this time. Maybe next time, because they do go against each other once again in the season. Who knows by that time? It's going to be Mikan Booyah just having 2-0 against Benzer. We do not know yet. That's going to be the story of the future. But for now, Chaos Theory, 2-0 Ponos.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing them square off again. That's kind of the cool part about the way the season works. Yeah, we don't get to see every team play every team, but they do get to play each other twice, so they get to learn from their mistakes.
It's going to be an exciting season because we get to build all these stories between the teams. Next up is Talon versus DetonatioN Gaming. Oh, we got some changes coming up for these two teams. Stick around. More Clash Royale League Asia coming up soon. welcome back for the next match. Talon, Detonation Gaming. They're up, but we got some changes in the rosters. Let's start with that.
All right. I got this one for you, G-Clef.
Oh, yes,
okay,
please.
so Talon. We lost 3 great guys, so I'm really sad to see them go.
Oh.
Shake, Master Hong, and SB, if you guys are out there, we miss you. You guys were great, but we got 3 new players for them here, and in fact, this works out well that they're on the left this time because that means their infographic is going to come up first. We've got Opa Dylan, Tattoos, and you're going to have to help me again with this one.
Lovech.
Yes.
And we'll just call him Totsi.
Totsi?
Yeah, Totsi.
A player from Serbia. So that's pretty cool here. We've got a player coming all the way from Serbia over to Clash Royale League Asia, so I'm really excited about that.
This is a team that either mixes up really well or not. Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, Serbia, USA. So that's all over the world of team, basically. Talon, they had a lot of talents coming out from a lot of different countries. Maybe this time it can work better or worse. Like at the end of the last season, they were really having some great moments, like sniping onto the opponents when they had the data. Will it be the same this season? Let's see how they start.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this new Talon lineup and how they work. And we have here DetonatioN, a little bit of change of their own. Got a new player in there, Joker. So that is a brand new player here to Clash Royale League Asia. Really excited to see what he's got. Again, another one of those really highly ranked players on the ladder. You see him on the top all the time, and we'll see if he can bring it here in the professional esports scene.
We'll have to see, because what they lacked on, I don't think, well, 1v1 was an okay one, not like a major problem. I think they suffered a lot more on 2v2 last season. If they really fixed on that, maybe having a dedicated 1v1 player helps them to focus on 2v2 a little more. If that was the choice, I think they can have a better start. We'll have to see once we go into the game and what their active roster is actually going to be.
Well, in general, I think both of these teams, they were kind of all over the board on their 2v2s. Now, Talon was a little more consistent in their 1v1s, and you can see here Yugi-Art, he's returning here for Talon, and The Rock is going to be up in that 2v2 with Tochi. And so that's really exciting to see Yugi-Art back in that 1v1 role there. That guy is quite good when he wants to be.
With bringing that Sparky into action when Within is casting.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no bias here with that,
yes,
ever.
Just wait until the moment that you hear that sound dropping behind the King Tower.
It's the most satisfying sound in Clash Royale. I don't know what you're talking about.
And then
zap. All right, but let's talk about the 2v2 here. Both teams banning Tornado, playing it safe. And The Rock, of course, the 2v2 staple for Talon last season. The guy played a ton of 2v2. And it went okay. He was 3-4 in his sets, 9-9 in the games. So he was stable with whatever person they put him with. Oh, he played with SB every time, excuse me. Now SB's not here.
Yeah, until SB moved on to the 1D1 at the later part of the season. So I think that was pretty stable, I would say. And then they just switched out from time to time whenever they had that 1v1 matchup. Really a lot more focus on that 1v1. But this time, I don't know if this duo is going to be the staple duo or they're trying a few different combos together. We'll have to see, but for now, it seems like they are just going to be running what they had before, which was Giant Skeleton. Let's see if that comes out in the first game.
Yeah, that very well could be. I mean, there's so many options available. We didn't see any Giant Skeleton in our very first 2v2 matchup between Ponos and Chaos Theory. Will that be something they want to bring here? The coach, that's the new coach for Talon, Oak. I believe he comes from Croatia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Professor Oak.
Professor Oak here.
Yes.
He's going to tell us how to take care of our Clash Royale players.
Yes, especially if you have 3 choices, he will help you a lot. Because once you have to start making those hard decisions, he will recommend you the best Pokemon in the world.
We've got the secret choice somewhere hiding in the background. We'll see it. And then, of course, for DetonatioN Gaming, Pyrameki and Hane, ex-Hane, these guys are no slouches. I mean, Pyrameki was 2-1 in his 2v2 sets last season during the regular season. So, you know, he's done it. He can get it done.
Yes. Both teams has to do their next mission. Let's see how they start off. Let's see if we can feel the change or not for both of the squads here. 2v2, DetonatioN Gaming on top in red, Talon on the bottom in blue. only Tornado banned, so everything else is allowed. Giant Skeleton RG still really strong. We've seen Golem now, and a few more coming down. Graveyard also allowed this time.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different options in 2v2 now. There's that Hog Rider and there's that Giant Skeleton we mentioned earlier. Now, with that Goblin Cage, if you do it right, the Hog Rider doesn't even get a swing.
Yeah, also got lucky with that log. There's that mini P.E.K.K.A that we're seeing a lot more in the Grand Challenge, even 1v1s. Lowest win rate from Season 1, actually, because it was used in 2v2, but here it comes. It's going to help a lot.
Yeah, it just mauls through stuff. Highest single target DPS in the game. It's quite a powerful unit, and that bomb just does so much damage.
Exactly what you push, and you just use the Graveyard. And either you freeze what's behind, or everything else with that Magic Archer shoots through into the tower now.
I think it's just missing that tower there.
No, it's hitting on it every single time, down to 1600 already. So it actually got like 6 shots into it already.
Jeez.
That's a whole lot of damage. Great reaction coming down from Detonation Gaming, knowing the angle.
I was watching the number. The first shot it took didn't seem to change the numbers.
Yeah,
so
as long as it's not 2 squares away from the river, it's always going to connect with that angle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it just, I was watching the tower numbers, what I'm saying, and it wasn't going down, so I wasn't sure what was doing the damage, and I thought, all right. But yeah, that had to have got some shots.
Yeah, here comes the Graveyard, but only the bats and freeze after it. So that was a well-timed freeze, really not respecting the timing for Detonation.
But they had that E-Wizard ready, and it does end up getting cleaned up by that Giant Skeleton death damage, but did end up cleaning a lot of those skeletons up to prevent critical damage being done to their top Princess Tower.
Yeah, I really like that freeze timing. It was a second too late, pretending like they don't have a freeze or something. So Detonation, they reacted really well against it, though. A few skeletons doing some chip damage, and the Giant Skeletons dumb enough to hit themselves and doing nothing else.
No, that's, what are you talking about? That's how this works. You fight right at the bridge where neither team's Princess Towers can shoot you. That's smart fighting, G-Clef.
Musketeer also blown away. Everything, the Magic Archer, as long as the Magic Archer survives, might be okay. Still survives. Another Giant Skeleton coming down the bridge for a Detonation. Another Hog Rider diving in.
Is taking so much damage coming across there. Gets cleaned up by the log and the Princess Tower. These baby dragons getting slowed up by this E-Wiz. They get taken down by the Giant Skeleton Bomb. And there goes the other 2 units of the Giant Skeleton Bomb.
So bridge spam after bridge spam after bridge spam. Again, the damage. Hog Rider can't even push against that Giant Skeleton. It was stuck there because the skeleton is so giant.
So huge. I think with the cage behind it as well to block it. Just was too much.
The only real damage was some poison. I think Magic Archer still hitting on that tower, and it's gone with the 3rd shot coming down. I mean, as long as you're getting that angle, it's fine, but it wasn't made from Detonation on the final 3 shots. It was actually made from the opponent's side by the placement of that Dark Prince. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, you gotta be so careful when that Magic Archer is there, and there just also wasn't really a spell able to be utilized there for Talon against that Magic Archer, so it turned out to be a really crucial pickup here for Detonation.
Ooh. I mean, Magic Archer is I think one of the harder units that you actually need a lot more experience on, not just using it, but to understand it from the other side of the things. Yeah.
You're right, it was hitting it.
Yeah, it was hitting every single time, basically. And the Giant Skeleton, even after the log, it actually kept on hitting it because it was still in the range, I believe, even though the baby dragon was closer to it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. Great Magic Archer usage here. Now, if you are Talon, you got to counter this. You got to go through and think, okay, we have to bring a spell, Fireball or something that can deal with it. Yeah, I mean, Fireball's your ideal choice.
Yes, Fireball. Yes. And that's exactly why we see a lot more Fireball, not just from the Barbarians that we talked about all season, last season, and sometimes against Flying Machine. Works like the charm against Magic Archer too. And even if you only get Magic Archer, it's okay. If you get anything plus on that, you're getting a positive elixir trade.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's so huge now. Fireball is going to be very, very effective. I mean, you can even use it against stuff like a Musketeer, just about anything that's kind of weak like that. Yeah, like the
Wizard,
range, what I like to call
it. It doesn't kill it, but still, it does enough damage.
Ice Wizard,
and because the Magic Archer is right next to the bridge, you're going to get something else next to it anyhow. So here comes game number 2 of 2v2. Will it be the game of Magic Archer once again? The Graveyard did not work.
Nope. Graveyard not effective in that one. Well, they weren't able to get any other units across the bridge close enough to the Princess Towers to distract the Princess Tower of Detonation Gaming to allow that Graveyard to really utilize its full abilities.
trying to play a lot more hold on. Balloon already with that lumberjack. Little nerf on attack speed, but Inferno Tower, easy done.
Yeah, it feels like Detonation Gaming had some kind of read on what kind of changes Talon might be interested in doing, bringing in Inferno Tower this time. There's that Musketeer, and of course that Goblin Cage comes down to distract that Hog Rider. And with 2 Musketeers shooting at it as well, it'll be a very dead Hog Rider.
And still they're ready for another push, this time onto the right with that lumberjack. Balloon's going straight in. Musketeer already working on that. And the defensive freeze already. Detonation, they don't have an Inferno Tower this time, so good use.
Yeah, that absolutely was a must use there. A little bit of damage done to that Musketeer from the death damage from the Balloon. And it's just going to use a log to keep it from getting any shots there.
I think they're just saying, okay, we have to use that freeze, but okay. Even if we show that graveyard, they basically know we have the freeze ready to go. Anyhow, so that wasn't like a waste or like a secret weapon until the end.
Definitely not. If it's something you have to do to prevent any damage from coming through, then so be it. There's that Fireball. Great job here by Talon to bring that this time around.
Also got that chip damage into the tower, 200 plus. Comes another push, this time with that Earthquake, destroying that cage, making sure the Hog goes in straight.
Yeah, they have to use the freeze here.
Good catch.
Really nicely done here. Both teams bringing freeze this time around. And, ooh, that Miner and that Lumberjack avoid that, but there is a mini P.E.K.K.A there to clean all that up. Doesn't even need to take that last swing. And we're going to try another big push here.
Yeah, big Hog push this time cage, so it goes all the way around, so that's going to take a lot longer time. Giant Skeleton not in the range to damage the tower yet. And they're fast enough to get out of it, too.
Oh, defensive freeze again. Both teams having to use their freezes exclusively as defense. This one could come all the way down to the wire. There has not been much damage done to either side's Princess Towers.
Yeah, but this Hog was really close, but the Brawler does heck a lot of damage every single punch. So that hurts a lot. So this time Talon trying the left side. Double Giant Skeleton, but against air. Anti-air, only you is. And Musketeer, would that be enough for the knockback on the Snowball? Yes, but they had to use a lot here.
Yeah, they had to use a lot of Elixir, but they still have quite a bit of Elixir coming over that bridge, trying to push onto here. You've got an Ewiz and that Musketeer. The Musketeer is going to get a shot. That's nothing to sneeze at, but it is insignificant damage.
Yeah, but I think Detonation is a little more concerned about the right bottom. They did a whole lot more damage onto the other side. Let's see, still not too much away. There's that Earthquake, but no Hog this time as they have got to be ready with that Inferno against Blue.
Double mini P.E.K.K.As coming in here. Going to take out that Brawler, and with this Hog Rider, this is a dangerous push coming in here. Goblin Cage is up, though, with the Lumberjack to help.
Lumberjack chops away. Musketeer helps out a lot. Talon, they're keeping up with those Musketeers so many times. Here comes the Miner, finally chipping in some damage here against Detonation.
Still 2 minutes, so a ton of time here for Talon to get this done. They're down only about 500 here in Princess Tower damage, so this is very, very doable. Long overtimes here give you a lot of leeway to come back, and of course, same rules as last season where lowest Princess Tower loses.
And Talon, they were looking for some, hold on, with that Earthquake plus the poison. They were all going all in with this Hog, doing some damage. And down to 1,070. Still some time to go, 2 minutes left on the overtime.
It's a big push there from Detonation. Mini P.E.K.K.A is going to do such a good job predicting that Lumberjack, making sure he doesn't get to go anywhere. Inferno Tower as well, preventing another push here from Talon from working. Now we're doing a bit of a split push from Detonation.
But great placement of that cage, drawing both the Hog Rider and the Giant Skeleton. That was perfect from Talon. Goes again. Defensive freeze again, Detonation. I believe we're looking to go into that overtime until the end.
All right, they have to use the Snowball again.
What else?
To push this Balloon back. It's going to get one drop. There's a freeze as well. Will it get two? No.
It didn't catch the Musketeer. I think if the freeze caught the Musketeer, there was going to be at least two drops.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if they just couldn't quite get the freeze in range. It just been outside was that Musketeer.
The poison onto this one, even the log chipping in some damage. The Hog Rider. Skeleton. Just not enough in the range.
1 minute left. You can pretty well spell this down if you're smart, Detonation. They're going to have to play some solid defense, but already on the aggression. Once again, I expect a spell to come down here. to help deal cleanup, possibly if they feel like they need to. It looks like they're just going to bide their time. They've got plenty of elixir here, looking to make sure they got the proper defense for when this balloon cushion.
Oh, this one may be dangerous. Guards defending all the Inferno shots. There's that defensive freeze coming down from Detonation Fireball. Good one, and the balloon's down. No win condition anymore from Talon.
That Fireball missed that Musketeer, though. That's not necessarily a mistake, but a little bit of a misplay. This is going to be enough spell damage. DetonatioN Gaming will take it with a 2-0 here over Talon.
Throws down Poison, Earthquake, Snowball, Long, all 4 spells. DetonatioN, they got that game 2-0 against Talon. There 2v2, no Tornado, everything else kind of worked, but the story of the game was defensive freeze use. And the moment you actually don't use it, you actually got less value out of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird because even though DetonatioN had to use a lot of defensive freezes, so did Talon. So it kind of balanced out. A lot of times when we talk about when you're forced to use certain spells defensively, you know you're in trouble. Well, both teams were kind of putting themselves in bad situations where they had to do that. But then I think what the big difference here was DetonatioN had a little more spell damage available. They were able to get closer to the towers, the Princess Towers, because Talon didn't have something like an Inferno Tower or something like that.
Yeah, to break it down even more, Earthquake spell, I think, in this case was the key card against the cage. Even for Talon, if they had an EQ against an Inferno Tower, I think it was going to be a lot more chance for them to actually use that freeze along with it, or at least to get the balloon closer to the Princess Tower so you get the death damage.
Yeah.
And it was obviously going down before the Inferno Tower. Sometimes it didn't even hit the Inferno Tower with that balloon.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah, when that's your only win condition with the freeze.
Yeah, exactly. It's just with the Earthquake and the Poison as well, it's just overtime and the log, you're just chipping down that tower, and you're forcing your opponent on the back foot with that Hog Rider, forcing them to play defensively, allowing you to get those offensive spells in.
Yes, and Snowball just knocking back all the air units. I mean, these players are not really going to make a mistake to draw them in closer to the tower.
No.
Does happen from time to time, but super, super rare for these players to make that mistake. So it's always going to be a helping tool, making sure you buy some more time. Even against the freeze, you can actually buy just about the same time with that Snowball. But let's move on to 1v1 here now. DetonatioN got that. They grabbed the win on that 2v2. Yugi Art is back. Your boy right here.
Yeah, this is my boy. He's the Sparky master. He is so good at it. He was playing Sparky long before people really started to adopt it across the world. I mean, we saw, of course, Sparky Goblin Giant be really popular and effective in CRL West.
Yeah, before that era, though.
Before that era, this guy was my boy. All right, we were high-fiving over Sparky plays together. And now he's got to go up against Tempura. Yeah, boo me all you want.
Yep, I'm booing at Paper Thin here, not Tempura.
Yeah.
Tempura's a great player. I mean, he's got that win. Did not really play like crazy amount of games in the previous season, but I think he really showed the potential of what he can become. I think this season might be the season where he can just blossom into like a key player for the team. Because DetonatioN, they still need a team, not just from Joker. I think Joker can come out, but Joker can't be the only one, is what I'm trying to say.
100%. And, I mean, we only saw one 1v1 set from Tempura. He beat KK, so he's darn good. You beat KK, you're good.
That proves it. If anyone beats KK, yes, you're good. You're not just good, you're great. Ready for that 1v1 you get versus Tempura. DetonatioN Gaming leading 1-0 in set score. Here we go with the emotes, as always.
Yes, more of this. None of this, like, good luck, all right? Good manners.
We have so many new emotes, the old emotes. You gotta use them.
BM away, boys. That's my opinion.
Only 250 gems. Go buy them.
Yeah.
I don't buy them.
I do. I bought a couple.
I need more gems.
I bought the E-Wiz where he zaps himself.
Is this Golem art today?
Yeah, it might be Golem art here.
Or Mega K art.
Yeah. Ooh.
More skeleton art.
Whoa. Clone, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I'm like, is this going to be Clone? This is super fascinating here from Yugi Art. Just enough time to drop those skeletons by Tempura to keep
that was
that death damage.
Yeah, about to be in there, but skeletons at the end. Tempura got that off, but still the witch survives, and that's a pain. And skeletons not really doing too much, but Witch every single time it hits, going to do some damage, but not significant.
This is what I'm talking about. Yugi Art, I love Talon. They come in with such interesting decks here. This clone deck, not something you see very often. I mean, I've seen it from time to time,
Yeah.
but it's not very common in the meta.
Yeah, even towards the end of last season, we did see it just a few times. But paired that with Mega Knight a lot more. Not
Yes.
just the giant skeleton and Yugi's brought.
It could still be in here.
Yeah, his favorite towards Tempura. Tempura's got a big one to go. Sparky from the other side this time.
Yeah, Tempura trying to use Yugi Art's own medicine against him here. He's got that Sparky. Sparky makes quick work. Some of these units. Oh, great tornado there to drag it to the death damage, though.
That's a hurricane. That's a hurricane in the middle of US there. It brings everything together and paired up with that bomb damage. I mean, Yugi got that Sparky dead before it shot onto the Witch.
Oh, it's going to be the Giant variant here, not the Goblin Giant, just the Giant with that that Sparky this time. With the Musketeer, it could have been anything. I mean, I do see Goblin Giant variants as well, so it just kind of is a preference thing, whichever you like to go for here. But there is just so many skeletons here, they just chew through Giants.
Yes, and Sparky's actually a really good tool against this push because it actually, when it shoots, it actually goes backwards, so it doesn't get caught by the death damage as much. So Tornado may have to be used every single time.
You got to pull it into that death damage, and that's okay.
Ooh, that splash actually did not connect onto the Witch, only onto the skeletons. So
yeah, it's a little weird with those skeletons in Sparky. They get out far enough, quickly enough, that a lot of times you're going to miss it. There's that big clone coming down. Is that going to be enough damage here? He had to use a zap as well.
Yeah, good zap though. Saved a lot of damage going into the tower. Sparky looking to go towards the other side when there are lots of skeletons and units still doing some work onto that tower now. 1,000.
Oh, one Sparky shot there on the right. The flying machine just not quite enough there. And now we've got that Dark Prince. He does get his charge damage in there. Now we've got another Sparky on the left here. Sparky's not bad when you only have a Witch or a Furnace, but when they're together, it can, if the timings get right, it can actually be really tricky for Sparky because that charge time is so long.
Yeah, so you can't even calculate your own Sparky timing. So Tempura having that big push onto the right side with the giant skeleton defending against it. Furnaces come in time to block those giant punches. But that fireball got some value, deleting both Furnace and good zap onto the top left.
Yeah, this is actually pretty darn even here. Now we've got the Witch once again. We're going to pull that Dark Prince away with the Tornado here. So Yugi Art takes a moment to kind of collect his thoughts. We've got the Sparky. Since it's just a Witch, this isn't so bad. You can buy a little bit of time with the Sparky here. It's going to take these Witch shots a little bit.
Surprise cannon cart onto the left, but it's got Giant actually pushing away from that range. Skeleton Barrel, Tempura's got to time that perfectly with the zap once again. The second, Skeleton's actually doing some work here.
Yeah, that zap was just a little early-ish. He maybe could have waited a little bit longer and saved himself just a little bit more damage. What's the answer to Sparky on the right?
Mega Minions still connecting to it, and the Tornado has to be used this time once again as a defensive tool, not against Sparky this side.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna buy a little bit more time for Sparky to blast that giant skeleton down. Now you've got a cannon cart and a Witch right in Sparky range. He's gonna annihilate them. So good.
Yeah, I got the flying machine. Too close to the Mega Minion's gonna take care of that easily. Now the flying Sparky onto the left this time. Tempura might just be letting this one go.
Whoa, you gotta put something down, it's gonna get shot!
Oh no!
He's gotta know that! Yugi Art! You gotta know. He's gotta know that that has enough time to get it shot off.
That just required a zap or
something
to just slow it down. Just
skeletons, anything.
0.05 seconds or something. And that was a close one. I think Yugi was trying to see, okay, this one's gonna be really close, even if I take a hit. I should not be taking a hit. I think that's what he was thinking.
He thought he had enough time. He thought the Princess Tower would do enough damage there, but it just wasn't quite enough. It was just a split second too late with that last arrow.
Because sometimes the Fire Spirit actually blocks the first shot, and then the Furnace, and then the tower. If that was the case, yes, it was going to be Princess Tower just leading it. But it got the Furnace in just one shot, and it connected to the tower right after. Here comes the moment.
Yeah, look at this. The
no
Fire Spirits don't even come out. So blam, Okay, right here, as a Sparky player, I knew this is going to get a shot unless he put something in front of it. He had to do something crazy there, and he just didn't have anything available.
That many elixirs. I think he had a tornado in his hand. He used it about like 15 seconds ago onto the other side.
It should have been in cycle. Worst comes to worst, that Witch should have been out.
Yeah, I think he was risking it so that the Witch pairs up with that giant skeleton going towards all the way onto the north side right there. A risky choice, and it did not pay off for Yu-Gi-Oh! At all.
Yep, it's so hard to judge that sometimes. I see this all the time on ladder where people think they have enough damage left on Sparky before it gets its charge up. They don't need to drop anything to soak up its shot. But it has a surprising amount of health. It's tankier than it looks. It's not a trash can, okay? It doesn't have Oscar the Grouch in it. It's got something in it that you and I discuss this from time to time, and we still haven't quite come to a consensus.
I think it's a goblin, like a mini goblin.
Could be. But they call it a she.
Female goblin.
Anyway, it's deceptive. That health bar is deceptive on it, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I would have thought he knew it. I knew it. I'm like, he's got to play something in front of the tower. I thought he had something.
Yeah, that's the thing. He had the clone, but nothing like a E-Wiz or a Zap or Lightning to go against the Sparky or even a E-Dragon.
And he had nothing cheap that he could throw out there like an Ice Spirit or Skeletons.
Yeah, at least it was a good thing that the Witch, the Skeletons, those cheap regardless units were just blocking all the shots, so it was actually okay for him. But this time, that ending was a little too poor for Yu-Gi-Oh! He's got to come back. It's Tempura. DetonatioN Gaming by game score, they're up 3-0. Going into game number 2 of 1v1, here we go. Moment of frustration.
You know, at least Yu-Gi-Oh! Can get a smile on his face after a loss like that. That's a tough one to take. And, you know, to bounce back psychologically like that, that's important. Keep your spirits up.
Yeah. I remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a few seasons ago, he was shaking his hands and fingers on stage so much. Look how calm he is right now. He's a player. He's a Clash Royale player on stage now.
He's been here before, so we're going to get a little mini P.E.K.K.A dancing. Yes, give us the classic laugh. Not that one. I don't like that one.
Yeah, that goblin. Oh, that's not a female goblin.
Someday, I'm gonna bother somebody at Supercell and figure out what exactly is inside of. Maybe there's already some lore I don't know about.
You gotta ask the developers.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah,
to
go look up on Wiki page.
I don't
get some.
I don't read
information
lore.
there.
I don't read lore for multiplayer games. I'm like, you know, like there's probably
You
some.
gotta
lore.
look it up. Like one day you can't fall asleep. Okay, what should I do? Okay, this is my time.
Oh, I'd rather watch Netflix. The new season of Mindhunter just came out.
No,
really
please do not talk about all the contents, because let's focus on YouTube.
YouTube.
Well, the best I found this best site called on YouTube. The channel's name is Clash Royale League Asia.
Oh my god. That is the most pandering thing I have ever heard. But yes, you're right though. You are so right. I do love this channel. You know what? Actually, there's a lot of great content that they put out in between.
Did you get to see the video of Mikambuya and Benzen Vidal on the running machine?
Yes, I did.
They're trying to compete against each
Yes,
other.
I did.
Which is when it was, I believe it was shot in the basement of OGN. They have a gym.
Mikan won, right? He's a workout fiend.
I don't know. I don't know who won, but that's whoa, Graveyard from Baby Dragon locked on. No defense. You guys putting everything onto the right side. This is tower down.
Is he just going to try to clone this again? That is tower down already. Does Tempura have the defense available? There's a bowler!
Oh my goodness!
Oh no.
Say goodbye to all those skeletons.
Rip. Rip, rip, rip. Oh
and the
no.
skeleton army coming down from Tempura, and he's got the defense ready to go on.
Tempura read this like a book. He knew exactly.
Oh my.
1,000 IQ here. Oh my god. We don't even need to. This is done.
That's over. 18 seconds. Not enough time to do anything. Even the giant skeletons can't really go all the way too far. Even further away from the tower with that tornado. Guys, we have the winner. Tempura and the DetonatioN Gaming tonight. We have 4-0, 4-0 back-to-back. What a day to open up the season.
This is wild, man. DetonatioN Gaming looking real good here. Tempura with the huge outplay here. Totally red. I mean, that bowler, once that bowler comes down, I'm like, done. This is over. He won.
You're gonna try that Giant Skeleton Witch again, right? Bowler. Get that down. It survives for 4 minutes. God, like, I'm not even exaggerating. It's so tanky. It can take up so many shots from the Witch. It's a disgusting unit to go against when you have that deck.
It is a really, really frustrating unit at times, especially if you're running a ground-heavy deck like the one that Yu-Gi-Oh brought there. It's in a way, it's like a tankier, slightly less damaging P.E.K.K.A. or not P.E.K.K.A. Excuse me, Sparky.
Yeah.
And so it's really frustrating. Anything on the ground, it just makes me, whenever I play against it, I'm like, oh, I hate you so much, bowler. There's not a great spell that just wipes it out.
Yeah, even against all the lots of buildings, like the Tesla or the Expo motor, the bowler is actually a really, really good card against it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great choice. And since a lot of Expos are coming out every single time, whoa, we're done with match number 2 already, Paper Thin.
Wow.
I mean, the day's flying by. We've got one more match though, and this one, do not want to miss. Really, really. Got some new players kicking in. From Kicks, DragonX. Which X is stronger? We'll find out very soon. gosh, paper thin. The damage from the Sparky just hit me.
Oof. That's a big one. That's a big one.
I'm evaporated into the atmosphere now. I'm gone.
Rip.
Writhe from that shot. That was a painful moment from the last game.
Sparky shot heard around CRL Asia right there. Now we get to move into what I think is a really exciting matchup here between Kix and DragonX. This is a brand new Kix lineup. You still got Legend, Malenton, and Onion here, but now we've got two really exciting new players, IMJP and XPedro15.
Yes. Pedro, MJP, both really good players known from Spain and Venezuela. Really good pickup, I would say, from Kix. Exactly what they needed, because they speak the same language. They can either also come out for 2v2. I think that's also a possibility that not many are actually thinking about. Of course, they can just stick to the original 2v2, just having all the other players like Malenton, Legend, Onions, but I think Pedro and JP, they also have a chance, so that's something else that the opponent has to think about all the time.
Yeah, and when you look at it, you've got Legend and Onion, who are from Vietnam, and then you got IMJP and XPedro, so we'll see. This is the DragonX team, pretty similar here. G-Clef, it's exactly the same, actually.
Same, nothing changed except for that naming. They've shortened it down to DragonX now.
TrueFast has glasses.
Yeah, we got to get used to that. And Line plays from the beginning of the season this time. So that's a big change. Line did not really drop too many games. And when he won the match, it was usually a 2-0.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm digging the new. I want to go back to the new look here for TrueFast. I'm digging this. We got the new haircut, a little bit different, and those glasses make him look quite nice. Those are quite good.
I know. He's got some Korean fashion going on. I mean, he's a good-looking man out there. Ooh, freeze ban. Exactly what one of the West teams had against Ponos in WCG, because we have so many freeze. We were wondering when is the day that we see a 2v2 freeze ban, and now we're seeing it in the season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It just seems like such a strong card that eventually it was just going to start getting banned from time to time. Of course, the Giant Skeleton is also extremely powerful. Now, Tornado's available, so of course that makes things a little bit more interesting in our 2v2 matchups. And then we get something really exciting here. XPedro against Line. So Line is relatively new. We only got to see a little bit of him last season, and Pedro is brand new.
I'm expecting a win for Pedro.
I like it.
Yes.
Maybe. Line's really good, man. He's really good.
I was wondering if JP was going to come out, but both are really great 1v1 players. I can't wait till that 1v1, but before we go into that, 2v2 awaits us. And Tornado available, which means what?
Well, it means
everything with Tornado?
Yeah, if you use Miner, it gets a little weird. If you use Hog Rider or other units, you got to be really careful with how you place them, because they can get kited around the map and then drawn into the King Tower to activate it, which is way more powerful in 2v2 because it's got 2 cannons instead of 1. Yeah. So it's you have to be very careful here because you do not want to get that King Tower activated.
I think this is a new pair. Did Legend ever play 2v2 in his team? I think this is not a pair that we really didn't really see too much. Onion was a really good 1v1 player from last season.
Neither of them played 2v2 last season.
Yeah, I know. Legend stuck to 1v1 in the beginning of the season and actually gave the spot to Onion after losing a few more by sticking too much with that RG deck. Well, this time they're stuck together as 2v2, and this can be the duo. Let's see what happens. DragonX, Alpha, TrueFast. Really? TrueFast in 2v2?
Yeah, that's crazy. This is really fascinating.
They gotta come down because first of all, they had language barrier and they said that was a big problem last season.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 months since the last season.
Alpha's been saying on Twitter that he's learning English.
Okay, that's a little faster than TrueFast learning Korean probably.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. We can communicate in-game too. And if you practice enough, you get the teamwork going exactly.
Maybe TrueFast is learning Korean. I mean, he's adopted the Korean-style glasses.
Yeah, they got the glasses synergy already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, ready to go. Possibly Mega Minion. It's the only one flapping its wings towards the bottom.
Double baby dragons here.
Double baby dragon. Are we looking for a few more golems or the graveyard?
Yeah, very well could be. And if that E-Wiz there, it's going to slow everything up. Gets the charge.
Ouch.
Oof. That's a significant amount of damage. Now you're going to be able to use this poison to clean up that E-Wiz here.
Yeah, second poison already. So Kick's certainly thinking to use that poison to chip damage. And all they have to do is really defend. And that's the exactly reason why DragonX wants to start the attack onto the other side.
Yeah, looks like both teams here saw the win from Chaos Theory and thought, hey, this looks like fun. Let's try this. We got the Mega Knights and the Bekkas here. So pretty darn similar decks so far. And there's that graveyard you were thinking about because of those double baby dragons.
Yeah, and also ridiculous amounts, which is 2 of poison coming down from Kicks. Yeah, no real big damage coming down at all, only the poison. That's about it, and they gotta start defending right.
Yeah, no problem here. This should be easily cleaned up. Well done here by both teams. Now we're gonna try the graveyard with that baby dragon. The Princess Tower has locked onto the baby dragon. So what do they got? They've got a baby dragon of their own to defend, but a few swipes coming in from these skeletons.
Yeah, really good, even though the baby dragon's getting all those skeletons down, plus the poison damage. That was about 500 just from that poison graveyard. And plus a few more units pushing towards the top, so not bad from Kicks. DragonX still a long way to go for themselves, unless they hit bottom right.
Yeah, okay, this is going to be a Ram Rider here, and we've got the Mega Knight on the right to try to help counter this push here. We got the Lumberjack gonna lead the charge, get that Rage up here for his team, try and get them something going here. And now another Mega Knight coming down here, so double the trouble on the right-hand side.
Yep, even having the minor chipping in minor damage, not really the biggest one here. But the counterattack from Kicks with that graveyard, this seems like a really strong push.
Oh man, those are so healthy. That is such a healthy Mega Knight here. It does get taken down by the P.E.K.K.A. We've got another graveyard coming through now that that defensive poison is worn off.
Yeah, exactly. The defensive poison is gone. The second graveyard. Okay, this one actually not connecting a hit, maybe just a hit from the skeleton, but that's basically wasted to get better wave coming down from DragonX. Okay, Mega Knight, get the spawn damage, laying things just a little bit more. There's that lightning removing a lot though.
Oh, now the Lumberjack just gets pushed off. It does get one swipe in on that bottom right Princess Tower. We got a baby dragon up on the top left. Does not really get much damage. A nice snowball there.
Whew. Just in time to block a few more shots from the baby dragon. I mean, talk about danger. They're playing on the road here. Another defensive poison coming down from DragonX against that graveyard. And it seems like deja vu happening over again.
Yeah, absolutely here. DragonX doing a great job saving those poisons now. They've got the lightning available for offensive damage, so I think they can safely just keep that poison in their hand for defense. They have to use that Mega Knight to keep that Ram Rider off in just in time.
Yes. Spawn damage, knocking that Rider just a little bit so it does not really get the full damage. Comes again with that Mega Knight. Lumberjack, not as good as before, but still a good tool against all those skeletons. Even has to drop that E-Wiz on the back. So yeah, not bad, just a couple of scratches.
Yeah, too many skeletons spawned on that backhand side there, so they had to use that E-Wiz there to clean all of that up. Now you've got an E-Wiz. That is not so ideal placement, but that lightning does clean up a lot of those units.
What do they have against this graveyard? Snowball, what comes after? They're low on elixirs right now.
Oh no, there's a lot of skeletons getting in there, but in the end, it ends up being not too shabby there. Dark Prince and Baby Dragon pretty tanky, pretty good at dealing with those graveyards.
As long as this miner evens out with the snowball damage, I think that about evens out a little more on that damage. DragonX, they got a few more spells to go through. And the graveyard comes again from Kicks. They are loaded with another graveyard and poisoned them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just waiting to see what those last couple of cards that Kicks is holding on to here are, if they're going to be some kind of surprise here, because they need to keep their tower healthy so the lightning can't outshine them.
Yeah, remember, no freeze, but Tornado is certainly available. There's that second graveyard from Kicks. Will it be the finishing blow? There's defensive poison. Getting all that skeleton, that Tornado, but it's not helping too much.
Oh, it's getting pretty weak here. 391. That E-Wiz is just going to keep it alive long enough. Now we've got the poison here. Double poison. And I believe this one should be close to over here. You got the E-Wiz. Yes, indeed.
And Kicks over the time. I mean, basically it was a lot less of skeleton damage, soaking up for a whole lot. There wasn't like a major graveyard that did over 300, 400 damage. most of the damage came down from the poison from the beginning of the game. That's why DragonX started to move towards the left side, but they imagined, okay, we gotta defend this first, and then let's have a bigger wave to attack with our own chance, but didn't really work out.
Yeah, it was tricky here for DragonX, like, because they were able to set the tempo early, kind of force the action as they pleased. And then on the right-hand side, you started to get DragonX starting to make some pushes, but these Mega Knights and these Dark Princes come in, and they're able to cause so much chaos and keep everything off of their Princess Towers pretty well that most of the damage is coming from the Lightning Spell and the poisons here from DragonX, whereas so much Elixir has to be committed to defending the graveyard that Kix is using.
Yes, and double Mega Knight worked like a charm for Kix here, just moving all the ground units. The P.E.K.K.A. was really not used too many times because against skeletons, of course, it doesn't really do too much against the graveyard. Only against the ones that are crossing the bridge, but you gotta work at once at a time. So that really took a long time, and if that happens, Kix, they'll be saying, okay, we've got P.E.K.K.A, it takes some time, even though you get that longer range from P.E.K.K.A, still takes a pretty long time to remove all the units, so double Mega Knight, a little faster.
Yeah, you got to be perfect with that P.E.K.K.A placement, because if it accidentally locks on to something like a Dark Prince instead of the Mega Knight, all of a sudden that P.E.K.K.A becomes a huge waste of 7 Elixir.
Oh yes, and even against that, E-Wiz was delaying it even further, so Kix had every single tool for them to cross the bridge, hit every single poison, make sure it's used offensively, not defensively.
Yeah, if you're really smart with that E-Wiz, you can use it to goof up units like the P.E.K.K.A to change its targets, because as things move closer or further away from it, the stun resets its targeting and it picks a different unit.
Exactly. I mean, they were only relying on the right lane, so it didn't really have to be the choice, but they had so many ground units to just delay it forever, basically. Even the Dark Prince, the shield just take the first shot. Even one more shot from the P.E.K.K.A actually delays enough time for them to have the real attack with the graveyard. And DragonX, they actually used a lot of tools like the E-Wish, Baby Dragon, plus more to delete all the skeletons. So it was cost efficient every single time for Kix.
Yeah, exactly. They had to commit so much resource to defending those graveyard pushes. Now we move on to the second game here. Kix is up 1-0. Will the trend continue? Will Kix just 2-0 this today? Or can DragonX find a way to turn this around, get a game for themselves?
Maybe. Just
how very possible.
Maybe.
You've got really skilled players here. And it's, you know, they've been practicing a lot, getting ready for this first day of the season. These players have all been here and ready for quite some time in Seoul, South Korea.
At least a week or more.
More than that with a lot.
They had some time, especially from the group nomination and so on. So, again, seems like we're having the same from Kix.
Yeah, this time the guards are coming through in Icewiz as well, so DragonX is mixing it up a little bit here so far. Decent amount of damage done, though, on that graveyard poison push.
Yeah, even defensive miner against the Baby Dragon now, that P.E.K.K.A did not last too long, enough for them to actually have a perfect defense. Oh, even have to drop the bats.
Oh boy.
That's a little more, that's pricey, but okay defense. You took less damage. Oh, never mind, 1638.
Yeah, it was pretty substantial. They're just going to ignore that miner on the right-hand side. Focus once again. Great poison here from Kix, catching that Dark Goblin and that Inferno Tower. Oh!
Tried to activate the King Tower, and Alpha's just saying, what happened here? Might actually have a device issue right here. We'll see what happens. The game does still go on. The miner focused on the bottom right this time.
All right, we'll see exactly what's going to happen with that. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I get the idea of the tornado. We do see that happen from time to time where you can pull those skeletons into the King Tower. So we'll see exactly what will come of this. Right now, we're still going to play it out.
For the time being, cancels the charge. Got that P.E.K.K.A down, so easy delete onto the bottom side, and delay further continues Kix. They just keep on going. They got the double graveyard once again. And this time, clean defense with that spawn damage.
Yep, Inferno Tower down for defense, and Icewiz as well over there. But the real story here is going to be the Graveyard, which does force out a defensive poison here from DragonX this time.
Yeah, but got that offensive poison onto the left side, so that eventually chips down that 402 left. With double poison kicks, they got the game in their hands, basically, unless something crazy happens from DragonX.
Yeah, DragonX is going to have to pull out some kind of miracle here to get this going. There's only 15 seconds left. The P.E.K.K.A.'s really slow, and you can kite him around for days, so I don't know if they can get their win condition down.
There's that first poison down to do the damage. Kicks spending everything to defend the damage. Ooh, if that P.E.K.K.A. got to the tower, could have been trouble times, but that's going to be it basically. We're down to the final spell from Kicks.
Yeah, exactly. It is pretty much Kicks' game at this point. And there it is. Kicks takes it. I don't think there was maybe any kind of technical issue. I'm not sure exactly what the ruling is going to be here, but it looks like Kicks will end up taking this in another 2-0 today.
Solid, really solid. It's changing up, not too much. It's keeping up with that Graveyard. Seemed really well practiced. I mean, even if the attack actually happened on both sides, they knew exactly how much elixir they had to spend in order for them to get that Graveyard poison going. I mean, this time it was even better because those skeletons connected so much at the beginning. Got like about 800-900, and the next one got like 1,000, so you don't even have to go to overtime.
Yeah, exactly. I get the idea there, trying to use that tornado. If you get it right, and if you get the skeletons that pop closest to that King Tower, you can, and if you time it just perfectly, but you have to get a little lucky with the RNG with that tornado, because sometimes it'll kill that skeleton too fast before it actually gets its hit off. So it's a little weird. The timing's a little difficult, but Kicks able to make it work here.
Yes, had no other further defense. So let's see what really came down once again, starting from game number 1 here with 2v2. Similar story coming down from DragonX. I think the real change was not having the Ram Radar in the second game. It was a hard matchup because once that tornado came down, ooh, it's just a little harder against the Dark Prince. DragonX had nothing else to work with that tornado.
And Ice Wizard we've seen being a pretty effective counter to the Graveyard, but the placements just weren't there for DragonX. You have to place that Ice Wizard far enough away from the Princess Tower that it doesn't get into poison range or something like that, and it can still hit those skeletons that are inside of the Graveyard.
You have to have the right placement and the timing too. Sometimes you might just be leaking elixir because you're looking for that perfect timing for the opponent to cross the bridge. I think he was really looking for some extra poison so that the poison doesn't connect to the lower tower. Don't know what the real drill was exactly from Alpha and TrueFast, but this time certainly did not really work out. I think productions and the referees are still on what exactly happened in game number 2. Oh, never mind, we're just gonna go through straight on. That was a result of 2v2, Kicks taking the first set. And let's move into the second one. And this guy, this player, maybe rewriting the history of Clash Royale League Asia, because I heard he's pretty darn good.
Right, you can see that there. #1 on the most wanted players list. We had posters up of him around the OGN studio with a wanted sign and like $20,000 under it. And now we got him. Kicks is the one who picked him up. They also picked up IMJP. If we go to the King of the Hill, we get to possibly see him as well, which is super exciting. These are 2 phenomenal players. Now, Pedro likes to do 3 kinds of decks I saw are his most favorite on his main account. He likes Giant, Mini P.E.K.K.A., Magic Archer. So kind of like a newer style Giant type deck. And then he likes the Mega Knight Royal Hogs deck, which we saw earlier from Nikambuya, and then P.E.K.K.A. Battle Ram.
Yeah, line was really good from DragonX last season, but most of it, of course, involving Barbarian Barrel. Of course, who didn't use Barbarian Barrel before? But let's see his style that changed, because I think he was one of the players I think that benefited the most from the meta. It's a different meta right now and different spells, and let's see if Lion actually gets something done here. He's up already from the beginning day of season against Pedro. We'll see what kicks off.
So in some of Lion's games, he did play kind of stuff that was all over the board. I mean, Giant, Prince Minor, Mortar, Hog, Mega Knight, Royal Giant, he played that deck one time, which I love. Please play that more.
Cage.
And a Golem, just a standard Golem, Night Witch kind of thing. So both players have a lot of options available.
Let's see what else we got with the Cage, Ice Golem. Let's see, we do see the Ram Rider from time to time. This Brawler, you can't just let that. Yeah, it actually does over 250 a shot.
Yeah,
so you gotta block it. It moves so fast and attacks super fast too.
Night Witch makes you feel like Line is considering Golem, and he beat me to it. I didn't even get to finish my sentence. He was already thinking it. He was just going to bridge spam it here. Now, we got the Musketeer to help deal with this Ewiz, who's really going to cause problems here. Good placement there to clean him up.
Yeah, as long as the Golem goes down, because Pedro's got a Graveyard certainly going on for himself with the Dark Prince and the Poison. So as long as the Brawler survives, can be an okay counter, but Line's already got enough elixirs this time.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world there. You're going to be able to kite this Brawler there with the Skeleton, so no big deal this time. And evened up this time, so Pedro's got to find a way to keep Line on the defensive, I think. Don't let him get those Golems off so easily.
Having no elixirs coming down from Pedro, only a Mega Minion, certainly. And the Cage will be buying some time for Line so that he stacks up all that elixirs to have that Golem push once again.
Yep, exactly what he's doing here. He's just playing defense to buy time. Really nice poison here by Pedro. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, get decent amount of value. I believe that Night Witch even got caught in a bit of that as well.
Got the charge damage coming down from the Dark Prince, which is okay. I mean, you can't have the perfect setup, but Line will drop a lot of elixirs just now, but he's certainly not in a bad position with the Golem deck.
Yeah, exactly, and there is the defensive poison from Line here. Not wanting to take too many chances. You've got that Mega Minion there as well. Gonna put a snowball in just to give himself a little bit of damage. That Musketeer locks on.
Even though the Skeletons didn't even do too much. Musketeer, 3 straight shots into that tower. Not bad. Double elixirs time. It's the time for both Golem player and the Graveyard to push in all the way together. Golem's a little too slow. There's the defensive poison once again, but let's see what happens after the poison.
Yeah, offensive poison here going to help clean up that Ewiz, buy himself a little bit more time, do some damage to that Golem as well. And now you've got two pretty healthy Mega Minions floating around here, taking a little bit of damage from that Princess Tower, but those are going to be some very dead Golems.
Yeah, good stack of power coming down from Pedro. He was ready for that Golem to come down. 774 on Line's tower. This time Golem push. It seems like the classic one that we see all the time.
Yep, trying to get that Night Witch built up. Gonna use that poison this time. He wants to eliminate that Night Witch. Those bats can be really problematic later on if they start to build up.
Even a good slow from the death of Ice Golem right in the middle. Mega Knight. Mega Minion still not really finding its target. Too slow. Comes the Graveyard once again. Line should be ready with the poison.
Pedro's just playing phenomenal defense here. That Brawler gets a few swipes in up in the top left just to add some insult to injury here. 491 left for Line, and Line kind of pinching his nose there. He knows that he is in trouble.
Yeah, because you can't really have the best setup. You do not have the Cage against the Skeleton. Sometimes just using the Cage against the Graveyard is actually okay. So that's why Pedro's actually not having it towards going into the right side. So he can't really have the best Cage setup. This Golem might get to the tower, but he's got a lot of units.
You're going to get the death damage from the Golemites, and that's about it.
And this might be the final push happening, even chipping in the snowball damage for upcoming poison. A few more scratches from the Skeletons might just do it, and that should be game.
Well played here by Pedro. Very good patience from him. Excellent defense, knowing when to use that poison defensively, getting so much value of it, often catching more than one unit in it. Really, really well thought out.
Yes, really good read. If it seems like a good Golem push with the backup units collected with the Mega Minion and the Night Witch, defensive poison. Yeah, Pedro really had a great idea when to use that poison defensively, offensively, waited for the perfect time to have the Graveyard. Because once a Line was using that poison defensively all the time, the Golem never really reached the tower of his own, because if you're using that poison to destroy the Cage, maybe the Golem goes straight into the tower. But if that poison never lands onto the other side, well, go figure.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Golem never gets to the tower.
Yeah, it just is crazy, crazy smart here. Pedro's looking pretty good right now. Pretty confident, I think, him and the coach. And it looks like IMJP is up there as well.
Yeah, that's why we have a lot of lots and lots of poison today. Not only because we have a lot more graveyard. I think we'll see a lot more earthquake as well because we have a lot of cage, we have a lot of buildings coming out, even just expo decks. Not just from time to time, I believe we'll see a lot more compared to the other seasons because how this meta is formed right now within the next few weeks, unless we have a really big update next month. Until that time, I think Earthquake, Poison are the spells to go.
Yeah, they're really, really powerful in the meta right now, for sure. Unless you sniff out that your opponent's going to try something with Magic Archer or the Barbarians with the Elixir Collector, something like that, then Fireball's not so bad. But yeah, I mean, Poison's good no matter what. If you time it right, it's super effective. It has a huge radius. It's really, really powerful. Now, if I'm Line going into this, I don't think Pedro's going to play the same deck.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to play the same deck.
And no more Golem from Line. I think he was certainly a lot better towards lighter cycle decks compared to heavy Golem this one. He was really caught out of cycle when Pedro was controlling the game with his own cycle. So Line's got to come back with quicker cycle. I think he's capable of doing it. He's shown his miracles last season. So this might be the first comeback. I mean, he kicks up 3-0. Is it going to be the day of 4-0?
I don't know. I don't think so.
One game away from it.
I think Lion can do this. Maybe the Mortar deck from Mortar Hog here, but that's difficult with this Goblin Cage. The Hog Rider struggles against the Goblin Cage, as does the Ram Rider a bit. So we'll see exactly how these two players want to figure this one out. It is game number 2 between xPedro15 and DragonX's Line. Let's get into it.
I mean, if you're done from this game, I might not even finish my coffee today.
I know. I was actually like,
oh, maybe you're right about that. Right about Mortar?
I think
still a little too early.
Felt like
it feels like it to me.
You see, here's my reasoning. Okay, okay, maybe not, but maybe still it could be. But there's other things. But Benzer played it and kicks everybody's butt with it. Might as well try. Okay, this is going to be Hog.
Hoga, but Sparky.
Oh,
perfect shot on listeners. Zap. Boom.
Oh, great snowball too. Keeps everything inside the Sparky blast radius. That is so much value.
Now I know why you play Sparky.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
It is. Watching those Sparky shots land is the most satisfying thing in the world. I'm telling you this right now. Oh, and it gets the shot.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Got all the bats deleted from, not all of them, but got few deleted, so it was enough HP for the Sparky to shoot onto that.
Crazy. Just so good.
Mistakes has been made.
Sparky's challenging to play against. The timing on that thing is weird, and you got to remember that there's a little bit of delay between placing your units on the board and when they actually pop up and are available to get shot, targeted.
All the players are just used to it by playing so many games. Still, Sparky can be one of the units that's a little harder to time it. Because we said it before, it goes backwards just a little bit when it shoots.
Yeah, you have to be patient.
Okay, this time Hog onto the left because the right side is not even scratched anyhow. So good switch from Line, getting 2 swipes from that Hog, but gotta worry about these two.
Great timing here with this Dark Prince. It's going to soak up a lot of damage from that tower, and it takes out those Spear Goblins. That's not where you want them.
Game over, guys.
That is not where you want those Spear Goblins.
Pedro calls it. Good game. Line is just not ready for the Sparky. It was not ready. See that EQ? Knew that EQ was going to be coming down, but against the Sparky, it just slows it. Doesn't really do too much damage.
This is magnificent Sparky play. Look at the positioning on it.
Yeah,
it only takes two swipes from that.
Also,
Valkyrie.
really horrible deck to go against. I would say you gotta have some kind of minis done against that Sparky. If you don't, and if you have all those small ones against Dark Prince, they get deleted.
Yep. And really good usage here. I mean, I'm assuming it was the Goblin Giant, but it could be a whole bunch
Sparky.
of other
Which
things.
one goes down first?
Just once. The
and the King Tower. That's it for match number 3, guys. Kicks, the team that was not chosen until the very end of the group nomination. This is the reason why Kicks, with this new roster, I believe in them. Do you believe in them?
Yeah, 100%. This is a really, really difficult team now. They are really strong top to bottom. And that was scary. Pedro looked quite good. That first game was really, really close, really competitive.
Yes.
His defense was really strong. That's what ended up bringing him the victory. And then in this game, just 1 million IQ plays with those Sparkies. Really, really, really
You know
nice.
what? This roster I knew was strong, but just thinking ahead of time, even if it goes to King of the Hill, like I can't really think of a roster on top of my head to beat them in terms of what's written on paper. Like if they bring Pedro again, JP again, Onion or Legend, they got too many great 1v1 players together to be on King of the Hill.
That's crazy. I mean, you got Onion, who was absolutely disgusting in King of the Hill last year. Legend, you know, he's just solid all around. He can definitely do it. I mean, he's very good at 1v1s. And then you got IMJP and Pedro now. Yeah, Lion's like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
This season is going to be interesting.
I even permed my hair for this show, and I lose 2-0. Well, let's see. Well, double round robin, keep on saying, maybe at the later part of the season, maybe different, but Kicks certainly looking to be maybe top 2 team in Group A.
Yeah.
Like, this is too early to call, but this is how I got chills from 2v2 and 1d1 today.
Oh, and hey,
I want to put them on top.
By the way, yeah, they've still got Malenton on the roster, who's a strong 2v2 player and very good at King of the Hill as well. We saw him do quite well in clutch moments in King of the Hill for them.
Oh, yes.
So there's still even more depth on this Kicks team. It's crazy, crazy good. I feel like somebody, and the crazy part is they're not even going to see Game With or somebody like that has a also really strong King of the Hill roster. So
until we go to playoffs.
Yeah.
Until they possibly go against each other in the playoffs.
Right, exactly.
This is going to be a lot of fun in the season. Well, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 is the result for tonight. That's why we have same scores on the left. Only Group A. Guess what happens the next day? Group B, guys.
Group B coming up Saturday. That's going to be really exciting. Kicks, Chaos Theory, DetonatioN Gaming with the wins today. Ponos, Talon, and DragonX falling here. I would say, you know, Ponos and Chaos Theory was a surprising 2-0. I did not expect that at all. I thought for sure Ponos would at least win the 2v2. They just, like, you just expect it. It's just like, oh, it's a day that ends in Y. Well, then Ponos is winning their 2v2. Not the case this season. Things are really shaking up here.
Yes. Game With supposed to be the strongest team in Group B. Brand Esports get some, not just some, they got some roster changes and also having another player in the team. Lots of players speculating that they might be the weakest in Group B. I'm just going to say it. It'll be a chance for them to actually prove from the beginning day of Group B. But what a day here. Pretty fast day. Just 4-0 straight on, but we got to see some games. Maybe some more games could have hinted us what the real meta of Asia is, but we got to see a lot of Graveyard being played in a lot of 1v1s, also in 2v2. Not really a great variety of decks that we were able to see today, though.
Yeah, 2v2 was a little more by the book, I guess you could say. I wouldn't really call it that. It was just, like you said, they're all just playing kind of the same things right now. So that one was a little less exciting, but the 1v1s were quite good. We saw quite a wide variety of decks. And, you know, if you're a Benzer Rydell fan, you got to see him just stomp on people with Mortar, because that's what Benzer Rydell does.
Not just on people, on Mikan Booyah,
On
who was
Mikan
about
Booyah.
to come back strong.
Yeah.
So that story certainly did not end, but it's going to have more chapters to Mikan Booyah for
There's
sure.
many more to write there,
And
for sure. For sure.
That's a song for us to close. It's a fast day. It's only the beginning, though. It's going to be a great season. Group A, Group B, they fight against they do not fight against each other, only within the groups. So stay tuned. Group B coming up the day after. We'll be back with day number 2 with Group B.